In the house, Sarthak is right here. And we're ready to begin proceedings soon.
Yep, good to go. What's up, Ruds? And what's up, Rossi? Nice to have you here as well. Ruds, you with me? Seems like I lost.
We do have the safety car for one more lap.
It seems like a long one, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty surprising for Baku.
What's up, Ruds? Sorry for that. I completely forgot about a minor detail on Discord, but yep, glad to be here. I'm glad to get the stream going.
I know you cannot see my face, but I'm smiling right now.
Uh-huh.
Good to have you back, and you missed a pretty entertaining section of the first half of the race, I would say.
Yep. I think so. By the way, standings are looking. Big Man Joe seems to be right up there between KDB and General Pepe. So it looks like he's back at Baku of all races.
Yep, and I would say that there has been more heartbreaks than there have been redemption stories today, with the worst heartbreak being UK, who DNF'd sadly after qualifying P3, might I add.
That's super unfortunate. So I'm assuming this is the first safety car out on the race today. KDB took pole position as well, I presume?
Yep, you're right. So we had KDB and Avi locking out the front row. And that was shortly followed by Big Manjo and UK. But Avi had the worst of turn ones. I think he collided with KDB's rear, went into a spin, and it ended up being P18.
Bad luck struck again for Avi when he started on the front row, isn't it?
Indeed.
The safety car in this lap. I see Drunken Monkey out on track, so that's great to see as well. We got Accelerate right up there in the top 6. Horny and Freeze running in the top 10 as well, so I'm guessing they'll be aiming for a decent points finish. But again, I'm glad to see that it's still too early to tell. Lap number 10, and we got KDB leading the pack.
Yep. I would say that the biggest shock so far would have to be Sick Nig, who actually qualified P6 and is currently running P4. And he's had an excellent race so far. He's kept his nose clean as well, so good from him.
Talking about Sicknick, he got slapped with a penalty or two, and I think a bunch of drivers in the midfield
all of them did.
And we are ready to resume the race. KDB goes straight into turn 1. They're almost wheel to wheel, General Pepe and Big Man Joe, and General Pepe will take P2, and right behind we've got Sicknig fighting for position. Big Man Joe collides with Sicknig, and it's chaos for the Racing Point driver.
I'm so ready to hear the phrase commentators curse right now. I should not have said anything, Sal.
It's alright.
Poor Sicknick.
Yeah, unfortunate. For the first time, he was actually running pretty high, right up there with his teammate who's leading this race. And we got a really aggressive Red Bull trying to dive down the inside of a Renault, and yes, he gets it done. Accelerate on Drunken Monkey.
Drunken Monkey on P5 is also a really good thing because he was the first one to get DSQ'd from the quali. He actually started P20, so for him to rise up to P5 despite having 10 lap olds hards is still a very, very good thing to see.
Brilliant stuff. On board Alpha Tauri's Rusty Nish, who's got Sicknig, who's fallen all the way down to P12. I think P12, great to see. SV11. Then we got Gambler driving the Williams.
Yep, you might have missed out a lot of some juicy gossip in BRL, which all happened today.
Okay.
We had Drunken Monkey, Thor, and Gambler all entering the respective teams at the last moment. So I think that essence of having no practice is kind of making them race better, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
They've been doing well so far.
but probably someone will be really crushed 12 laps into the Azerbaijan GP of the Bwoah Racing League Season 4 is Gouch. He's running dead last.
Yep, and that itself is heartbreaking because Gods also had a very good quali. He qualified P7 and he was running P4 at one point. And then I think it was the pit stop at an unfortunate time. And I think he pit right before the safety car. So yeah, he lost a lot of positions in that. So
Unfortunate for him. Horning the closest driver out there on the tail of Drunken Monkey for a while now. KDB leading this race. General Pepe right behind. That gap's become even bigger. So that incident between Big Man Joe and Sicknick really cost Big Man Joe as well.
Yep, definitely. And since you mentioned Horning, Sarthak, I wanted to add that Mercedes, I think, decided to play it safe this time. And they didn't have the best of qualies, but they had decent qualies. Horning was P9 while Freeze was P12, I think. But they did hold well on their own.
Ferrello with a brilliant move down the inside of Horning in Sector 2. Climbs up into P6. He's on a charge, Ferrello, isn't it? There's been podium after podium in the past couple of races, and I'm pretty sure he's aiming for one here today as well.
Yep, I think he'll make a move on Drunken Monkey. This straight is just ridiculous. I was mentioning this to Prophecy as well earlier, that this straight is just too overpowered. If you have DRS, that's it. Bye-bye. You'll make the overtake.
Usually
But this time there was no DRS.
Yeah. But he's still on the gearbox with Drunken Monkey. He should be able to get it done right about now. But then again, that's Drunken Monkey right in front of him. Two-time race winner in the league. It's really unfortunate that we don't get to see him every race. But yep, wheel to wheel, Renault and AlphaTauri. But Ferrello should be able to climb in up to P5. Unless Drunken Monkey makes it even more difficult for him. Nope, he doesn't. Ferrello gets it done.
Smooth as you like it.
Meanwhile, his teammates
He
trying
had a
his
few
hand.
issues of his own, the way. Disconnected a few times, just like how it has been for him since Barcelona.
Meanwhile, his teammate trying to get closer and climb up into P8, perhaps. Only Kapi running P8. SV11 currently running in the points. Pretty sure he'll be glad about that and will hope to finish in the points at the end of this race. Oh, Rasinis has an issue in the castle section. He's lost it. He had a bit of a collision with the ball.
bumped his right tire. Oh, that's Gameler's race over, I think. Or maybe not. Gameler just seems to be crashed. Yep, he just crashed. He is still very much racing. But that was the scary moment.
As it was.
SV to be P9 is a huge thing because SV was just P17 a few laps ago.
Now we see the gaps becoming bigger and bigger across the pack itself. KDB's gap to General Pepe as well. Over 3 seconds now.
That is not something you'd like to see. And Big Man Joe is P3 when he was literally right behind KD just 4 laps ago. So I guess that clean air is really helping. Sector 2 yellow. Wonder why. Seems to be something between Thor and Avi. Avi is P17, but he just spit, so that makes sense.
Gamla goes straight into the pits. New set of tires as well, I'd presume.
Yep, his caster section punt was quite damaging to his wings, so I had to get that changed as well now.
Freeze closes in on Drunken Monkey. And Horning's fallen all the way to P13.
The 3 yellow, and only Avi seems to be there, so that was odd, but we move.
Avi's retired from the session. Alright, don't think that's that's in the pits, or perhaps it is.
Yep. He has retired in the pits.
Yep.
Not having a good race. I think Avi and UK just had the same amount of bad luck, and there was nothing much they could do, to salvage their situation.
And on the main straight, Freeze is gonna do his best to make a move on Drunken Monkey, and he should be able to, unlike Ferrello had to wait till after turn 1. Down the inside of Drunken Monkey, wheel to wheel go the Renault and Mercedes cars. But Drunken Monkey holds on to that position, but not for long, I'm sure.
Does not get the DRS. That's odd. Freeze will have to do it.
Oh, that's
classic
Avi.
Mercedes style.
A bit of a glitch there.
Oh.
Ruds, are we out on track?
It's the same thing we saw in Monaco, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where the AI decided to take the cars for a spin regardless until sector 1.
Oh, it seems like SV is dropping. Yep, he has spun. He has spun in sector 1. And he's losing positions. He's down to P11 right about now.
Yep, Goth's right behind him. And that was impeded, or if Goths was not close enough, but Goths will definitely try to move past SV. Cannot risk getting held there as he's 6 seconds behind Rustinish.
Meanwhile, Gautz's teammate Vix356 running a steady P9 and closing in on only copy.
Sorry for that sound effect, but I just saw my life, more like Goth's life flash before my eyes. He almost did a I'm stupid moment.
Oh.
I even asked Proxy if you're gonna see some I'm stupid moments today. I don't think we've seen any so far. Unfortunately, I missed out on UK's DNF and Rocketman's, but Baby Shumi's was pretty scary. So where Goth's is right now is where Baby Shumi's car was, horizontal to the road, all the tires ripped apart from the car. So he had a very bad barrier slam.
Meanwhile, Vix356 gets the move done on only copy, climbs up to P7. Looks like Baku's turning out to be a great race so far. 16 laps in and 10 laps to go.
Like Rustinish and Only Kapi will be fighting for position along with Vix to see who gets it, but I think Only Kapi might be able to get something done. Difficult as Vix is on the mediums. Yep, and he keeps it.
Meanwhile, Sicknig on the tail of Horning. Freeze seems to have pitted for fresh softs.
Oh, and that's Rustinish spinning out. They're at the start of sector 2. That's awfully unfortunate.
Straight himself off, which means we've got quite the train there with SV11 and Guts right behind, real close behind. Through the castle section they go. And that...
3 friends making a DRS train. Things you love to see.
Yep. Who's going to come out on top is the question. Can Rustinish be able to fend off SV11 and Guts? And from the looks of it, SV11 is closing in on Rustinish pretty well.
Oh, Rustinish again hits the barriers. I think... Yeah, his tires are just 8 laps old. I wonder why that issue is arising. Unless he has a damaged front wing.
Guts
does not look like it.
Guts peeked around the outside of SV11. Couldn't get the move done, of course. But will stay close behind. Should be able to get a position or possibly 2. But SV11 does on the main straight. Goes past Rustinish, and so will Guts, which means Rustinish lost 2 positions, but he was headed into the pits. So
yep, I can see that his wing is damaged, so yeah, definitely explains why he was going all over the place. Nonetheless, move made, SV moves along with Guts.
Meanwhile, that gap between Guts and SV11 seems to have increased a bit. But he should have what he needs to compete for position once again on the main straight as they go through sector 1 now.
Oh, classic F1. It's showing that Gots is 10 seconds behind SV and I can see him right there in the same screen.
Of course. Sicknick finding it a bit difficult to close this gap to Horning. But he's trying because, he's got to be on his toes. He's got Horning's teammate right behind him. Much similar to Gout's SV11 and Rusty Nish's position. Seems like Horning lost a bit of his rear there into the turn right before castle section. Through castle section they go and everything looks to be good. Freeze closing in on Sicknick. This is going to be interesting on the main straight, that's for sure. Rud's closest cars out on track right now.
Definitely. And as long as you have DRS and like I said, if you're within half a second or something, yeah, you can count that move made. He seems to be on the softs though, so he has the best chance to overtake. I think you picked the same point.
Yeah, exactly. Right about now we should be entering, the main straight. Let's see, seems like all three drivers are pretty further off between each other, but Free is trying to get the best of slipstreams to take position and run right behind Horning and should be able to get it around the outside. He goes, overextends his chances, has a bit of a moment with the wall, but Sicknick will take back that position, but not for long. And yes, he has damage to the front wing and has spun.
Oh god, I think Freeze has retired.
Disaster for Freeze. He's left the session with the car out on track. So now I'm wondering, was that on purpose or was that the game disconnecting on him?
Could be a disconnect. Yeah, I'm also curious.
One thing's for sure, it cost a lot for Sicknick as well. His gap to Horning's over 1 second now.
I think Freeze pushed a bit too hard. He could have waited one more corner, get the DRS. General Pepe setting the fastest lap time after lap time. And he was 2.7 seconds away and now he's like just 1 second away from KDB.
Exactly. He's closed the grab brilliantly. And to think he's only on a 1 lap older hard tires.
Yep, and these tires will go for another 10 laps. The hards don't start entering the puncture territory until the lap 20th. So they are done with their pit stops. It's just a matter of who conserves the tires better.
Meanwhile, position switches in the midfield. SV11 lost out on the position. 2 Gouts who climbs up into P9 and Drunken Monkey going into the pits and will be coming out on the softs as well.
Gots gets P8 then, and he's approaching P7, his initial starting position. I think him getting P7 or higher is a job well done for today.
Meanwhile,
we all want to see Gots win the World Drivers' Championship, don't we?
Yep, we do. Have a good shot at competing against the likes of General Pepe and KDB as well. But yeah, Gambler getting another position under his belt after Freeze going into the pits, so more like Freeze's car considering he's disconnected. Meanwhile, Sicknick's closed that gap to Horning under half a second now.
Rusty Nish has finished his overtake on SV11 and he's currently P13.
Meanwhile, only Copy climbs up into P6, gets the move done on Vix T56. Seems like Vix T56 will have his teammate to worry about in a couple more laps, possibly in the final lap if he keeps going. Of course, that one just 1.5 seconds. Greater than 1.5 seconds of a gap to only
I think
Copy.
something's wrong with SV. Sorry to interrupt you, Sarthik, but yeah, I think SV had a castle section and he banged wheels with Rusty.
Unfortunate for him. Rusty Nish has expressed many times that he gets caught out on incidents where with no fault of his own, he tends to have bad moments. But Vix T56 goes straight into the pits for a fresh set of softs.
I think that should be job well enough done for gods. But the real question is, how will these runners on lap 20 do when it comes to lap 26 for Horning especially and Sicknick? I think the mediums are good enough for the end of the race.
You'd presume so. But I'd say Ferrero's got a good chance of getting on the podium now, but I might be too optimistic considering he does have that 26-second gap to close in on to accelerate in 6 laps. So unless, and I don't want to, I mean, I'm saying the obvious now, unless there's an incident in the front, Ferrero's probably not going to be on the podium.
Yeah. I hope you see what KDB has spit. With 6 laps to go, with 5 laps to go, he has spit.
And since they have lost position, 3 positions now.
And he comes out in the mediums. Oh god, I hope this is a risky strategy which pays off, because I think KDB just cost himself the race win.
Perhaps. I mean, you look at the gap, then again, the minute you said KDB is into the pits, I'd assumed he would be coming out on the sauce.
Same thing, but this is very weird. I really don't know what is gonna happen.
Perhaps he messed up a bit on the MFD, but who knows? General Pepe leads this race as he goes through the castle section. He's got Big Man Joe 13 seconds off of him. So he's not really a threat per se. Drunken Monkey setting in the quickest lap.
The fastest lap. We both were on point with that. My god, that's something you like to see.
Accelerate running in the podium positions. KDB, 9 seconds to make up if he wants to be on the podium.
I think KDB just cost himself a podium place. Realistically speaking.
At the end of this race itself, on the final lap, if the gap is close enough, KDB should be able to be on the podium, considering Accelerate's got a penalty.
Yeah, that seems fair. And I think Accelerate he has a 5-second penalty, so all KDB has to do is get within 5 seconds of Accelerate, which seems doable, to be honest. He has already caught up around 3 seconds since his pit stop, and that was 1 lap ago.
But for the race leader to have almost possibly thrown away his race win, it's super unfortunate, isn't it? On lap 22.
Very much so. But I hope you're noticing only Guppy right at P6 Sarthak. I think he might just be getting the driver of the day prize.
Ferrero sets in the quickest lap, so we got drivers from across the grid trying to set a real quick lap, but Sicknick on the tail of Horning should be able to get this done around the outside on the main straight. Wheel to wheel, a Mercedes in Racing Point, not the first time. Last time around it was Freeze who tried to make the move and didn't get it done, and this time around it was the Racing Point and not the Mercedes.
But Sicknick will get DRS. Let's see what he can do there, but I think the gap is too big at this point.
Yeah, I think while exiting turn 2 he lost a bit of his rear, which means he will lose a bit of time to Horning as well.
There was a bit of his tailing, no doubt. And he also has a penalty, so I think Sicknick might have realized that it's not worth, risking his own car for that.
Perhaps, yes. Meanwhile, God's running in the points. He'll be looking to close that gap as much as he can in the next 4 laps or so. 2 only copy. Doable. But then again, we'll find out. Sicknick's objective right now is possibly to get a higher position, but then, like you mentioned, that penalty is not going to work in his favor. I guess Racing Point can, go away from this race saying that they got a decent double points finish.
Oof, I think Sicknick might just get a point finish because he has a 5-second penalty, and Drunken Monkey is within 5 seconds of Sicknick right now.
Thor seems to have retired from the race.
Yep, Thor has retired. In the pits, so we will be seeing his car come out, like always.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure there are a bit of giggles in the Haas team we see right now with Prof C and General Pepe, considering they pretty much got handed the race win almost, some might say.
Yep, I am still positively shocked at the strategy that KDB took. Maybe he thought it would work out, but a pit stop costs you 20 seconds on Baku. 20 seconds in 5 laps is not a doable thing.
Bit of contact there for KDB through the castle section. He has closed the gap, however, to accelerate, so podium perhaps.
I think a P3 is very much doable, but anything more than that is just wishful thinking.
Big Manjo, I assume he started in the top 5, Big Manjo.
Big Manjo was on the second row. He was P3, if I'm not wrong.
Of course.
So, yeah. And he actually benefited a lot from Avi colliding with KDB and spinning out. He has spent most of the race in P2, so it's been a decent race from him.
Brilliant. He keeps it going and should be able to, considering there's only 2 laps left. This will be his first podium of the season. Or
I
perhaps the
think
second
he got
one.
a podium at Netherlands, maybe.
Second
yeah,
one.
this might be
Yeah.
the second one.
Second one it is.
And I think Goth might make a move on Only Kapi Sarthak, because Only Kapi's tires are 19 lap old.
Yeah, and should be
These
able
tires
to get
don't
it
go
done.
more than 20.
And brilliantly down the inside, well predicted, and right behind Ruds. Seems like Sickening made the move on Horning and has climbed up to P8.
But Horning should be getting those positions because of the penalties in place. And Horning might just rise up to P7, to be honest, if he keeps right at the gearbox of Unikapi and Sickening.
Of course.
But P6 from Goths, good. I appreciate that. We'll win the driver championship someday.
Yeah, one day, possibly next season.
Yeah, for sure.
He's improved, hasn't he? Race on race Gouts. We've seen him.
To be honest, compared to season 3, yes.
Yeah. Substantially, that's all we like to see from all drivers, for that matter. But this is going to be a tricky race finish result, especially between P7 to P9, isn't it?
Yep. I think Sickening has 5 seconds and Only Kapi only has 3 seconds. As of now, how things stand, Horning will get P7.
He just has to keep it close enough. Sickening has contact with the wall through sector 2 as he exits sector 2.
Well, KDB will also have to be content with his P3.
Sickening will have
What could have been
slipstream.
P1.
Yeah, Sickening has the slipstream he needs, and down the inside goes off. Only Copy should get the position. But then again, race result possibly giving it away to Horning. But he's over a second.
Sickening has to do whatever possible though, Sarthak, to get that gap. Otherwise, he will lose his position.
Yeah,
so he knows what to do.
I see the gap extending, in fact, to over a second right now.
Yeah, Horning seems to be having some issues. Oh, he has run out of ERS. So that explains why he can't keep up.
Meanwhile, up ahead, KDB has made the move on Accelerate and is running in the podium position. So, regardless of Accelerate's penalties, KDB will finish on the podium. I'm pretty sure he would have enjoyed that top step, just like he did last season. Fortunately, it's P3 for him.
To be honest, I think he may catch Big Man Joe as well. But no, that's too late. The straight is just way too much for him.
Yeah, possibly. Big Man Joe needs to keep this clean, because maybe what you mentioned might just turn out to be right. He locks up the front left, however, KDB. But he could possibly get that P2 in the last couple of corners.
possible. But General Pepe has got the race win in the bag, and that's without a doubt.
Pretty much.
If you look at it, KDB had fresher hards than General Pepe. There was absolutely no need to pit. The front two banged on their hards, and look where it got them.
As he goes through the castle section, and I believe once he finishes this lap and gets the race win that he deserves, he will tie KDB once again with respect to all-time race wins in the Bwoah Racing League. So I'm pretty sure this will keep going race on race. KDB and General Pepe. Perhaps we'll see a new race winner going into the next race. I'd hope so.
Possibly.
Yep.
But General Pepe starts sector 3 of the final lap. Nearing his evident win, so to say.
General Pepe qualified in which position, Ruds?
Oh, he was around P4, P5, I think. So that was not the best qualies from him. So P5.
P5, doesn't matter. P1 here today. General Pepe, as he comes across the finish line, wins the Azerbaijan GP of BRL Season 4. And that is his 5th win in the league. And right behind Big Man Joe on the podium yet again. P2 for him, and that gap was real close. KDB coming in just within a second of Big Man Joe to wrap up the podium. That's P2 for Big Man Joe, and KDB will get a podium, not the race win. Wonder what happened there.
Yep, and Hornick seems to be P7 before crossing the line, Sarthar.
Brilliant, gets it fair and square on track.
Wow, that's actually good.
Some brilliant racing from what we witnessed from lap 10. Gods should be able to get a decent P6, a good bunch of points for his team. Unfortunate for VC56, however, seems to be losing position to SV. Meanwhile, Sicknig
seems to have retired.
on track.
Yep, I think we can see from Gameler's point of view. Yep, Sicknig is right there on the track. Pointed it into the barrier. Oh, that's bad.
Fortunate for him.
Could have been a point finish.
On the final lap in sector 3 also. Unfortunate. Yep, Drunken Monkey puts it in the points, and SV11's lost it on sector 3 as well.
At the exact point where Sicknig was, but on the other side of the track, of course.
Disaster for SV11 and Sicknig. Of course, they weren't going to get a points finish, but they couldn't even finish the race. Gameler gets driver of the day, Ruds. And that wraps up the Azerbaijan GP.
Nice to see Drunken Monkey and Gameler both getting their points.
Of course.
It's not often they get chances.
Yeah, indeed. General Pepe on the top step of the podium yet again. 5th race win. Extends the championship lead. And his close contender KDB on the podium as well. Big Man Joe getting the 2nd podium of the season. I'm pretty sure he'll be hoping for more. Or possibly a race win as well this season. Don't see him competing in the front too often. But this possibly could be the return of Big Man Joe to the front. We'll find out. Next race, of course. So fastest lap goes to Ferrero, the Thunder lap. To Ferrero on the softs, the last bunch of laps. So you'd expect that from him. Accelerate finishing in P4 even after the penalty. Gouts P6, Horning P7, Only Copy P8, Drunken Monkey P9, Gambler P10 to wrap up the points for the team. Gambler coming through for the team, getting a decent points finish. A point matters. Sicknig losing out on a possible double points finish for his team. VC56 P12, SV11 P13. He will be able to get that after an unfortunate DNF in the final lap. Rusty Nish P14, Freeze P15, P16, and thereafter DNF for drivers. 5 drivers, in fact. I wonder what happened to UK. Regardless,
yep, I did predict 3 to 4 DNFs, but I was right on the money for most of it.
Compared to previous season, the last season, we did have lesser DNFs. So possibly that's something to be glad about. But yeah, then again, you got KDB finishing P3 after an unfortunate pit stop. Regardless, on to the next race. Next weekend will be race number 9. So looking forward to that, Ruds. Until next weekend.
Same here.